Systemic corruption is an outcome of a population focused on dancing with the stars, while a dance of deception is occurring.
It would have been impossible for us to develop our plan for the world if we had been subjected to the lights of publicity during those years. But the world is more sophisticated and prepared to march towards a world government. The supranational sovereignty of an intellectual elite and world bankers is surely preferable to the national autodetermination practiced in past centuries.
Ample evidence exists to support the belief that a secret cabal of international bankers and politicians have been nudging us into the direction of a new world order for years, starting with the Federal Reserve System in 1913, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, the European Union, and the Euro, NAFTA, the World Trade Organization, and the proposed North American Union in its currency, the Amero. David Rockefeller is a self-proclaimed internationalist and an obvious elitist whose economic and foreign policy influences are well known and well established. David Rockefeller was quoted in his book, Memoirs, as saying on page 405,
"Some even believe we are part of a secret cabal working against the best interest of the United States, characterizing my family and me as internationalists, and of conspiring with others around the world to build a more integrated global political and economic structure. One world, if you will. If that's the charge, I stand guilty, and I am proud of it."
The cornerstone of his world influence has been the Council of Foreign Relations, which he chaired for 15 years. The fact that Dick Cheney was ever its leader speaks volumes about its nature. Since 1954, the world's most powerful people have met in secret once a year. They named themselves the Bilderberg Group. In 1977, the Times of London called the Bilderbergers a clique of the richest, economically and politically most powerful and influential men in the Western world. They meet secretly to plan events that later appear just to happen. If all this seems far-fetched, look around. America has been stripped of its industrial base. Our biggest export is employment, while Americans are working harder and longer at service sector jobs for less pay and fewer benefits. Our middle class continues to evaporate while we are being dumbed down in public and private schools, universities and colleges, and by mainstream media and tabloid news. We are kept in check by sports, idiotic reality TV, and video games, or anything else that turns off thinking. Princeton Review compared the Kennedy-Nixon debate transcripts to the Bush-Gore transcripts. The result? The required reading level dropped from 10th grade to between 6th and 7th.
This, my friends, is what a dumbed-down, morally bankrupt, completely broken society looks like, and this is how it behaves. As you watch this horrific video, do you think any of these people own a single ounce of physical precious metal? Any gold? Any silver? Do you think that even one of them understands what the Federal Reserve is, or that the Fed is spending them into oblivion in economic slavery? No outrage over the bankers raping them. No outrage over their gutted industry. No outrage over their plundered dollar. Just blind, wanton stupidity. Just bread and circuses. The elite are social Darwinists, and they believe what they can get away with is fair game as long as we allow it. This is social engineering, and they've done it to us by design. They've turned us into animals that they can corral. We are no longer citizens in a republic safeguarded by our elected representatives. We are consumers feeding at a corporate trough managed by officials.
Will you tell the American people to whom you lent $2.2 trillion of their dollars?
Hundreds and hundreds of banks, any bank or that has access to the U.S. Federal Reserve's discount.
Tell us who they are.
No.
Homeland Security has become so effective protecting world bankers at their gatherings that the U.S., Canada, and Great Britain are all on the verge of becoming police states. Sovereign nation states are being replaced by a series of regional unions with their own currency, such as the European Union and the Euro, or the proposed North American Union and the Amero. A brave new world is coming, and freedom, democracy, thinking, and self-determination are not part of the equation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. No president should fear public scrutiny of his program, for from that scrutiny comes understanding, and from that understanding comes support or opposition, and both are necessary. I am not asking your newspapers to support an administration, but I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people. And so it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance, confident that with your help, man will be what he was born to be, free and independent.